Jak Housden. Jak Housden, born John Paul Housden, 12 June 1969, is an Australian guitarist, singer, and composer. Best known as a long-standing member of the Whitlams, he is also a founding member of the Badloves, appearing on all their classic 1990s releases. A revered session guitarist, Jak has performed and recorded with Barry Gibb, Olivia Newton John, Richard Clapton, Steve Kilbey, Kate Ceberano, Jimmy Barnes, Daryl Braithwaite, and Steve Balbi, among many others. Since 2015, Jak has been involved with Tim Minchin, touring extensively and recording on the album Apart Together. Presently, Jak is preparing to tour with the Whitlams in support of their new LP Sancho, meanwhile applying the finishing touches to his second solo record. Early life and career. Jak Housden has played guitar since he was 11 years old. He joined Melbourne band Show of Hands at 16, performing regularly around Melbourne, even flying to Tokyo to represent Australia in Yamaha's band Explosion at the Budokan Stadium. In 1988, Housden began a spell of touring with Daryl Braithwaite. Also in the band at the time was Stephen O'Prey on bass, guitar also Show of Hands, and Michael Spivey on lead guitar and backing vocals Screen Idols. Housden, O'Prey and Spivey, now on lead vocals, founded the Badloves in Melbourne with Chris Tabone on drums and initially Spivey's brother, John, on keyboards and saxophone. According to Australian musicologist Ian McFarlane, they became a popular live attraction courtesy of regular gigs and a fine set of laid-back, 1970s-style blues, Memphis soul, and New Orleans R&B material. The band's sound was simple, soulful, and very funky. The Badloves were immediately labeled as organic. The group released 2 studio albums, Get On Board June 1993 and Holy Roadside September 1995, before disbanding in 1997. In 1999, Jak was one of the session musicians on the Whitlams' 4th studio album, Love This City. In 2001, he became a permanent band member, touring and recording the albums Torch the Moon 2002 and Little Cloud 2006, alongside founding mainstay lead vocalist and pianist Tim Friedman, bass guitarist Warwick Hornby, and drummer Turupai Richmond. In February 2022, the Whitlams released their first album in 16 years, Sancho. Housden has remained a member of the Whitlams. Solo material and other projects. Housden released his self-produced debut solo album, Mad About Disco, in 2004 through Boffin Records, which included the single To Die For 2005. In 2020, Housden released the single Bombs on Triple-Speak. Strong on melody, Bombs is a stomper with intoxicating harmonies and the psychedelic guitar for which Housden has become famous. Produced by Housden, Bombs was mastered at Abbey Road Studios. Housden has played in numerous bands including Clayton Doley Hammond Organ Donors and the Sydney psychedelic band The Dolly Rocker Movement. In recent times, Jak has featured in various music videos for Tim Minchin, including 15 Minutes and Leaving La La La, Leaving 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 La La, Leaving. Housden's film and television credits include the Emmy Award-winning animated Beatles series, Beat Bugs, for which Jak recorded on tracks featuring Rod Stewart, Chris Cornell, and Regina Spektor. And in 2017, he was the guitarist and music advisor on the critically acclaimed ABC biopic Friday, On My Mind, the Story of the Easy-Bats. Genre and style. Housden is renowned for his bendy guitar style and highly distinctive tone, as well as his fervent falsetto vocals. He draws upon 1960s and 70s influences including the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and West Coast rock bands like the Byrds and Jefferson Airplane. Personal life. Jak Housden is married to singer and performer Robin Lowo, is the brother of Stephen Housden, the lead guitarist of Little River Band, and the uncle of composer Paul Housden, who was part of the now-defunct Pornland. Discography. Albums: Mad About Disco 2004 Boffin Records/MGM Distribution. To Die For, Mad About Disco, I Want You Back, Don't Care What I Have to Do 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 What I Have to Do to Do. Emily, I stare, 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 I stare. The Hand of Ruby. The Legendary Man from Deccan. Love Illusion. Bus. To Make a Fool of You. Turn Around Bright Eyes. Singles: To Die For 2005 Boffin Records, To Die For CD version, Your World/My World, The Legendary Man from Deccan original version, To Die For acoustic version, Bombs 2020 Tripla Speak/Metropolitan Groove Merchants, Bombs, She Knows,